Hey, fourth grade, welcome to my tutorial on how to make your poster for cyberbullying using PowerPoint. Okay, you're going to notice that my desktop looks a little different than the ones you have at school. This is my home computer. It's running the newest version of Windows, so it's going to look a little bit different. But all the same, you should still be able to find PowerPoint. PowerPoint, you're going to use your Start menu in that bottom left-hand corner. If you don't see it in there, you go to your Start menu, you can type in PowerPoint, and you should be able to find it. It should say PowerPoint. In our class, I believe it's 2007, and it should have that red P. Go ahead and click on PowerPoint. You're going to start with a blank presentation because everything's going to be customized. Start with blank presentation. The very first thing I want you to do is go to layout, and I want you to change it to blank. The reason we're going to do it blank is everything's going to be made from scratch. Every text box you add, picture, everything's going to be done from scratch. So go ahead and click on blank. Now there's nothing pre-made on this page. Everything that I do, I'm going to have to add myself. So the first thing that you need on your PowerPoint is you need to have a title. So to add your title, you would go ahead and click on Insert, and you would find Word Art. Yours is going to look a little different than mine, but the ideas are the same. You're still going to use Insert. You're still going to find the word Word Art. Click on Word Art. Choose one that you like. I tend to like these newer graphics, these more modern graphics. I'm going to choose this one. Then you're going to type your own title in. Now, there's also a resource that you have online where I have an example of a poster I already made. To find that, you're going to go to Google Chrome, go to your home page. First tile says Computer Google Sites. Click on that. Every time I'm clicking on something in the video, you should see that there is a circle around my mouse when I click. Go to fourth grade. Since we're trying to find a PowerPoint, we know that it's going to be a red P. Right here it says Cyberbullying Poster PowerPoint. Now, this is always a question in my class. Are we going to view or are we going to download? Well, right now I want you to click on download because it's the best way to view it. And right here I'm going to go down and open up the downloaded PowerPoint. And give it a second to load. You're going to see two examples of a poster. One that's more of a white background, but it still has a really nice look to it. And then you're going to see that second poster has more of a formatted background where I added colors and some other features to it. So you can see that the title that I made for my posters don't stand for cyberbullying. And the first example I have is kind of white. I have my two pictures, which are my requirements. My second example, it's still a poster, except I use different font colors and background colors, and I have different pictures in this one. It's the same information, though. It has my two facts. Up here it has my two tips for preventing cyberbullying. So it's the same information, but I just gave you two different examples of how you could do a poster and how they can look different, and you can either have a lot of color and a lot of different things and it could still look nice, or you could just kind of leave it very simple and it could look nice as well. Now let's go back to my other PowerPoint. So I said don't stand for cyberbullying. So to change my title here for my word out, I'm going to do the same thing. Don't stand for cyberbullying. And I have my exclamation mark, hold my shift key, hit the number 1. And if I don't like my word out, I can always highlight it, go back and change it. Hover my mouse over these, find if I like a different one. If I don't, of course, I'm just going to keep the same one. If I do, choose the other one that you like. You can also change things like the size of the font. I can make my word art smaller. I can make my word art larger. You could fill in your word art. If you double click on it, it'll give you this formatting screen. I can change the fill, the background, the outline. I can make that a different color or leave it blank. So there's a lot of things you could do to format this, but I just like to leave it blank. I like this clean look of how it is here. Now, another thing that you have to have on your PowerPoint for your poster is your name. You're going to do that with text boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Insert, find my text box, and your name is supposed to be at the bottom of your PowerPoint. So I'm just going to make my text box right down here, and I'm going to type in my name. Now, if your text box has an outline around it and you don't necessarily want that outline to be there, you're going to double click on your text box. It's going to take you to this formatting screen. Click on Shape Outline and just go to No Outline. Same thing. If there's some kind of color fill, just click on no color fill because you want it to be just white. Or if you change the color of your background, make it match your background. It's up to you. And now that we talked about backgrounds, let's talk about how we can change our background. Maybe you don't like this plain Jane white look. Maybe you want to have a colorful poster. That's absolutely fine. Right click your mouse, you're going to see a button that says Format Background. Now you can do one of two things. You could do a solid fill, which means the whole page is going to be one solid color, like this, or you can do a gradient fill, which means you can choose a different design that kind of has variations in the color. It's not just one solid color. It's kind of light in one area or darker in one area, and you can adjust the lightness and darkness to however you like it using certain things, different features on your page like transparency and things like that. I can lighten it up, make it darker, however you kind of want to do it. But that's one example of how to change your background. A solid fill, it was the other example we talked about. So I gave you two total, gradient fill and solid fill. We're not going to really get into the other types. This is enough information to go on for this project. So if you like the background that you made, go ahead and click on apply to all, and you can get rid of this screen. So another thing that you need to have is you need to have those tips, 2 tips, and you also need to have 2 facts. Well, to add that information, you're going to use text boxes. So it's the same thing. Click on Insert. Now on my screen, like I said, some things are going to look a little bit different. I have this text box button, and it lets me draw it wherever I want. But on your screens, when you click on text box, it's going to give you a list, and you have to go all the way to the bottom where it says draw your own text box. So you're going to click on that for yourself, and then just kind of decide where do you want your text box to be. You can always move it. So here, of course, you need your 2 tips. Or if you want your 2 tips down here, put your 2 tips down here. If you want it here. To move your box, you just have to get these 4 arrows that I have with my mouse. And then you can click and kind of just drag it wherever you want. So you have your 2 tips. This is tip 1. This is tip 2. Another thing that you need is you also need to have 2 facts. I'm going to take another text box because I might not want it to be in the exact same box. I might want my tips and my facts separate. So I'm going to make a separate box for my facts. I'm going to say 2 facts about, I like using more of a title case, so I'm going to capitalize my A. 2 facts about cyberbullying. And I'm going to say, this is fact 1, this is fact 2. Now, if I wanted to change the color of my text box, I can go ahead and do that by going up here to this A, making it a different color, maybe making it a different font that I like. Maybe I want to go back to black, I decide. Maybe I want this to be clip art. I'll go back to word art, and make that a word art instead of just your plain old text, which gives me a brand new box. I can go ahead and delete this one by just clicking on it and hitting the delete key on my keyboard. And now I have this giant word art that I already showed you how to shrink if you want to make it smaller. Kind of put it where you want on the page. Now, the other thing you need for your poster is 2 pictures. So to add those pictures, you're going to go to Insert. Now, there's 2 types of pictures you could use. There's clip art, which on the computers in our class, it's the same as me clicking on online pictures, but on your computer, it's going to say clip art right here. But it does the same thing. It allows you to search the internet for pictures. So I could just search for cyberbullying. And I'm going to want to find an appropriate picture. I'm going to click on Show Web Results. Yours looks a little bit different, but it's the same idea. Again, yours is going to say clip art to do this. Find a picture you want. Make sure it's appropriate with no violence, no inappropriate words on it. Like this wouldn't be a good picture to use. Find one that actually, this one also has some violence. Find one that's more appropriate for school. So I have this one here. It says cyberbullying affects real lives. I actually like that. I'm going to click on Insert. I just put that picture where I want so that it doesn't block any of my poster and I can kind of still see everything I want to see. I can change the size of it by dragging the corners. I can rotate it if I kind of want to add some different appeal to it, put it on an angle by grabbing this circle at the top. And then I also can do one more thing. I can add effects to my pictures. To add effects and format your picture, go ahead and double click on your picture. Click twice. That's going to bring up this picture formatting up here. It allows me to put frames around my picture. So if you hover your mouse over the different frames, you can see how it changes the outline of my picture and it adds a frame to it. Kind of just changed it from just this plain, boring picture to something that's a little more cool, and it just makes your poster look more professional and it looks more like you know what you're doing. So go ahead and you can choose one of those effects for your photos. Now we're going to talk about, for the second picture, how to get your picture online instead of using the clip art, because not every computer in our class actually has clip art. So to do that, you would go to Google Chrome, go to google.com, type in something that you wanted to look up. Cyberbullying is not a bad place to start. And then click on images right here. Again, we want to find something appropriate. I said this wasn't. It's kind of violent. This isn't really, these two pictures aren't really appropriate either. They have some inappropriate words on them, so we're going to steer clear of those. We don't want to use them. So I said I want to use something a little bit different. My first picture was kind of, you know, a little bit of a saying. Maybe this time I actually want to use a picture instead. So I'm going to use this picture right here. I'm going to click on it. Now, in order to get it into my PowerPoint, what I want to do is right-click my mouse, and I'm going to go to Save Image As. Don't make the mistake of going to Save Link As. That's if you want to save the URL or the web address. I want to click Save Image As. You always want to know where you're saving to. Right now, it's trying to save to pictures. Well, I actually want to save it to pictures because it is a picture. If yours doesn't say pictures up here, click on pictures. I'm going to change the name to Girl Being Bullied, because that's what it looks like is happening in the picture, and it's how I'm going to remember what it is. I'm going to click on Save. Now, a lot of you guys make the mistake of saying, I'm going to click on this, and that's how it's going to get on my PowerPoint. That's not how it's going to get on your PowerPoint. That's downloading the picture. If you click on that, it's just going to show you the picture. It's not going to put it on your PowerPoint. If you want to put it on your PowerPoint, you got to go back to your PowerPoint at the bottom, open it up, and you want to go to Insert at the top. Click on Pictures right here. And do you remember where I saved it to? If you don't, it's okay, I do. I saved it to Pictures. Do you remember what I named it? If you don't, again, it's okay. I remember what I named it. I named it Girl Being Bullied. So I'd click on that link, Girl Being Bullied. Click on Insert, and now I have my second picture. Again, I can resize it, make it bigger if I want by grabbing the corners, make it smaller. I can change the angle of it. Do you remember how I said to format it? If you don't, that's okay. I'm going to say it again. If I want to format this picture, I can double click on it. Go to the top, find a frame that I like. If I don't like any of these, I can click on this arrow, find some more frames. Again, I might have a couple different things on my computer that you don't have on your computer. Don't spend your entire day just trying to format these pictures. Don't spend the entire class doing that. Just kind of find one that looks nice and move on. Now, for the most part, I have everything that I need for my poster. I have a title, I have my name, I have good formatting, unique text, my word art. I have my two pictures that are formatted. They look very good. I don't have my full information, but I gave you an idea of what it should look like with my 2 tips and my 2 facts about cyberbullying. So hopefully you can use this video. It's been helpful to you guys. If you ever get lost on how to use any of these features, just go back and watch this video. Whenever you're forgetting how to do something, of course, I'll help you with things as well. But this video should show you everything you need to know to make your cyberbullying poster. Thank you.